Let's move to that. Tuberculosis remains one of the major causes of death in South Africa, but now an independent assessment of digital X-ray pilot projects in 6 districts have shown that the extended use of digital X-ray technology can assist in dealing with diagnosing more people and a lot more quicker. Now, to discuss this even further, we're now joined by TB Program Head at the NGO Right to Care, Dr Lucy Connell. Dr Connell, thank you for your time and good morning to you. Take us through this breakthrough, especially when it comes to tech and digitizing X-rays, I suppose, in terms of diagnosis.
Okay. Gareth and everybody in our country today. It is a breakthrough because we used to use X-rays for mass diagnosis of TB of communities in South Africa in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. But we stopped using it, number one, because we had much better treatment for TB. We needed it less. We saw TB incidents coming down. But with the resurgence of TB, initially it wasn't really a great technology because although it's very good at detecting changes that might be TB in the lungs, X-rays were largely confined to hospitals. They were expensive. If you remember the old style X-ray, it was this massive camera, and once it shot the film, then the radiographer had to develop it on a piece of dark, stiff film, and you needed an expert who understood exactly what the TB changes could look like on X-ray to read that X-ray. And all of those factors made it difficult. It wasn't a portable technology. You needed experts to read the film, and you needed massive space taking up machines to develop the films. Now it's all different. Now it's digital. All you need is basically a computer. And another huge breakthrough is that artificial intelligence can be trained to read X-rays and make decisions on what is seen in the X-ray to the extent at which they match human expert readers. And WHO in 2020, earlier on this year, basically published guidelines that said they now promote the use of digital chest X-ray, which is highly portable, very safe.
Yeah.
With the use of computer-aided detection, so that eliminates the need for that other layer of expensive and scarce personnel.
Doc, if I may just come in there, I want to talk about also the time frame, just in terms of how quickly also the diagnosis can take place due to this technology and this breakthrough.
Okay, so the artificial intelligence, once you send the digital film to the software, can give you an answer in 40 seconds. Now, it doesn't say this person has got tuberculosis. It says this person has radiological signs that suggest they might have TB. There's a high likelihood that these changes are related to TB. And then those people then need to go and have a laboratory test that gives you the answer definitively. So and it's a very objective test. So unlike a human asking questions about classic TB symptoms and on the basis sending people with symptoms for laboratory testing, now we have a much more objective test. And not only is it objective, but it actually targets, it can diagnose TB in people who are not yet sick enough to say, yes, I'm coughing. Yes, I've got night sweats. So it detects them in that preclinical phase before they are sick with TB.
Right.
And of course, with any condition, the earlier you hit it, the less destruction it's going to cause in that individual's life and in community's life and indeed countries' lives, because we know that TB, there's a cost, an out-of-pocket cost to having TB.
Doc, I want to also talk about the compelling evidence that we learn about, that it seems computers are now as good as humans in terms of, interpreting X-ray images. Take me through that and what that evidence actually is telling us.
Okay, so this is a screening test. So the machine at this stage is not good enough to say 100% this is TB, because what you often see with TB is that you can have TB, it gets treated, and then you're left with scarring in the lungs or features that show that you have had TB, but the TB is now gone and you're restored back to health. So you got to understand that the AI, the artificial intelligence, can give you a probability that the person has TB, and then we test that person. And that step is very, very quick. It captures more people who have TB, and it is objective. And plus, we know that the machine is very reliable. If we feed people to the X-ray, we know we will get an answer at the end, as opposed to relying on health workers to screen everybody with a high degree of alertness and quality and conscientiousness, which actually hasn't been happening for the last 10 years.
Well, we have to leave it there, but I appreciate you, of course, bringing this information to the fore. Quite detailed and thorough, brings a lot of clarity in terms of this breakthrough when it comes to TB diagnosis. And thank you so much to you, TB Program Head at the NGO Right to Care, Dr. Lucy Connell.